going to go ahead and get started with the webinar. I'm Lauren Dowdle, the editor of Total Landscape Care, and today we're going to be talking with Joy Genduza. She's going to share how to generate leads with direct mail, websites, Google, and more during the webinar. Joy is the founder and CEO of PostcardMania, a fully integrated marketing firm specializing in direct mail. She used postcards to grow PostcardMania from just a phone and computer to a $22 million enterprise in less than a decade. She literally wrote the book on direct mail, which is titled The Ultimate Direct Mail Success Manual, and it's her mission to empower entrepreneurs with the affordable turnkey marketing tools they need to have the business they've always dreamed of, one that is prospering and growing. And now I'm going to turn the floor over to Joy.
Hello. I'm excited to be giving this seminar today, and I love helping small business owners increase their business using marketing. And marketing is confusing. It's gotten more confusing over the years with the advent of the internet, and what I'm really excited about for this particular industry is that there are not very many good marketers in your industry. So this is a terrific opportunity for you to take advantage of some of these techniques so that you can be, the king in your area and just dominate your area. So let's get started. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the table of contents here with you, but we are going to go over how to generate as many leads as possible with direct mail. The number one reason website traffic and leads don't convert, and convert means turn into customers or calls or leads, and turning Google into your best follow-up tool. It's also a really inexpensive way to use Google, and it's fail-proof, so I'm excited to go over that with you. And write down any questions you have. If I go over anything during this PowerPoint presentation in this webinar that you don't understand, I really do want you to clarify it with me at the end. So just a little bit about me. That's my family. I'm the girl. I'm the tall girl. And those are my dogs. And we just had to kick that little one that I'm holding out of the office because she was yapping up a storm right before we got started. I bring her to work every day. I started my company in June of '98. '99 was our first real year in business, full year in business. And I didn't have any investment capital, and I basically used marketing to grow my company over the years. We have 200 staff now, and I think what really drives me is the purpose to help small business owners, mainly because I've been there. I know what it's like to not have enough money for marketing. I know what it's like to feel like you're taking 3 steps forward and 4 steps backwards in building your business, and that we're just the rebels, us small business owners. So early on, I decided to share my knowledge with anybody who was interested. So in the very beginning, I was in a little, actually I started out in my house, but I was in a little cottage, and it was very homey. And now you can see on the other slide, that's my staff outside our PostcardMania headquarters in Clearwater, Florida. So let's go over what your job as a marketer is. The first thing you have to do is generate a lead, because people don't just respond instantly and become a customer when they see any kind of advertising. The second thing, once you get a lead, you have to capture the identity of that person. If someone sees your truck and they think, oh, I really do need a new landscaper, you have no way of contacting that person and closing them up or giving them a quote, because you have to have a way to capture their identity once they're interested. The next thing, of course, is following up with them. People don't make decisions instantly, and you want to have a system in place to follow up with anybody interested whose identity you have captured and turn them into a customer, warm them up over time and turn them into a customer. Then, of course, there's closing the deal, and you're all very good at that already because you're in business, and we don't cover that here. So first, we'll go over lead generation. What is a lead anyway? A lead is anyone who sees your advertisement and has some interest in it, okay? Now, capturing leads is harder than ever, because now, just like you, everybody goes online to do their due diligence and to learn about different companies and what people are saying about them, and they really no longer need to call you, they think, in order to decide if they want to do business with you. So this has made the process very, very difficult for marketers and small business owners who rely on that phone to ring in order to talk to a prospect and close them. So I am going to show you different ways to kind of overcome that so that we do get them to call you so that you can close them up. Let's go over some statistics first, because I'm a big proponent of direct mail, obviously. It's not just because I have a direct mail company, although I'm sure that has a big reason, a big part of why I love it so much, but I do use it. I do practice what I preach because direct mail works, and I mail out more direct mail than any of my customers on my own behalf. PPC stands for pay per click, and you'll see that pink arrow, the top pink arrow says PPC, and what that is when you go to Google and you are searching for something, there are all the websites come up that you can click on. The ones at the very top, there'll be 3 at the top generally, and then a column down the right-hand side. If you click on those, the company is paying for you to click on it. That's called pay per click or Google AdWords. And direct mail, although that works brilliantly, and I love pay per click advertising, and I use a ton of it for my own company, direct mail gets a better response. 65% of consumers have made a purchase as a result of direct mail. And email, a lot of small business owners go, yay, email, it's so inexpensive. I can buy a list of names and just email them, and that's so much cheaper for me than postage, etc. However, I ask you this, how many of you listening enjoy receiving an email from a business you've never given your email address to? We all hate it. We all hate getting spam in our inbox and people just sort of like blasting us with their communication when that's not what we're ready to receive. And direct mail gets a much, much better response for lead generation than email. 75% of all marketers use direct mail marketing because it works. It's so workable because you can target your audience and really choose who's going to get your message. So the first thing you have to do is decide, who is that audience? Who do I want to pinpoint here? Who do I want to have see my direct mail piece and do business with me? Am I going after single-family dwellings? Is there a certain, am I going after everybody? I have one client who just is like a mow and go type of person. It's very inexpensive, and he targets everybody who has a lawn or a single-family dwelling, whereas a lot of my clients also are looking for the higher-end homes that don't only want their lawn mowed, but also want their shrubbery trimmed and the flowers kept up and all the other things. So you have to decide what's right for you. And if you're going after commercial, if you're what we call B2B, business to business, meaning you're only targeting commercial properties and apartment managers, etc., then we can go after that with direct mail. We can find lists of people that that you want to go after. And let's look at how that works. I want you to get the idea of all the people in your service area. So if you were in Clearwater, Florida, you would get the idea of me sitting here giving a webinar. You want to get the idea of all the people. And then you have to figure out, do I want to target everybody, or do I only want to target certain types of people, right? Who do I want to have call me and ask for a quote so I can close them up? So get the idea of those people, those types of people. And if you see the purple people here are the ones that you have decided are your target market. And of course, this is arbitrary. This is just something we made up. It might not apply to every single person on the webinar. But I do want you to get the idea of this, because I want you to see that there are people who need you right now that you've just gotten the idea about. And those are the people that are going to respond fairly quickly to your direct mail once you hit them with a piece, once you buy that mailing list and you hit them. And then over time, you'll see that more and more people are going to need you. And that happens with your follow-up too, following up with the raw list that you purchase and then following up with people who are slightly interested but didn't quite close yet. I just want you to get the idea that there's a momentum that builds up when you use direct mail marketing and you do it correctly, repeatedly to the same list of people. So let's talk a little bit about direct mail and what you need your direct mail piece to look like and who is it going to. So let's say you've decided it's going to housewives whose husbands bring in a certain amount of money, and therefore the husband maybe has the wife mowing the lawn. I don't know. But I don't know because I'm not one of those people. But I don't mow the lawn and I work. However, you want to design your ads with the recipient in mind. The recipient that you've decided is your target market. Your ad has to communicate to that person. It doesn't have to communicate to other professionals in your business, in your industry, and it doesn't have to communicate to somebody who lives in an apartment. It has to communicate to the type of person that you're targeting. And what I mean by that, just to give you an example, is, you know, for instance, if you sold something, like, you know, you wouldn't promote full landscape design to somebody in a neighborhood that couldn't afford that. You see what I'm saying? You would promote a mow and go, or you would promote something just specifically to who you're targeting. And I know that sounds silly, but you'll see what I mean. Writing good copy is very important because the first thing you see when you get a direct mail piece are the words and the images. The copy is very important. The actual test of a piece of ad copy is, will it register in the instant it takes the individual to pick it up and decide he's going to throw it away? And you all have taken the mail out of your mailboxes at home and understand what that means. Something has to get your attention super, super fast. So that headline is really, really, really important. And 8 out of 10 people read the headlines quick. So make sure your headline instantly communicates what you're trying to say overall, what you sell. Let's go over the 10 elements of an effective postcard design. First and foremost, you need a clear and bold headline, as I just said, something that instantly communicates what it is you're doing, what either problem you solve for them or exactly what your product or service is. In this case, it shows the problem that you solve. Less time here mowing the lawn and more time here in the, you know, hammock or lounge. So a clear, bold headline, a graphic that backs up that image so that there's no thought process. It's just instant understanding. You also want to make sure that the color just pops off that card, because we do get a lot of junk mail, and if that is targeted, if that junk mail is targeted, then the person who receives it won't feel like it's junk. They'll feel like it's something that they need. So we want them to see the things that they need right away. You also want to see a subheadline that leads into text, and that should really be showing you the back of the card. So I apologize for that. Hopefully the next slide will. I will show you. We're going to get to the back of the card, so I'll show you how a subhead leads into text. It really should be showing you the back. One thing that you definitely want to have, and this is when I was talking about making sure that the person who receives the card understands it and it's for them, and I was making a big point about that, because what you're trying to communicate are benefits of your product or service rather than the features of that product or service. A feature is something about the product or service, whereas the benefit is the what's in it for me aspect. So let's take a look. I literally took these features that you see on the screen off of a card that someone printed here, where they provided all the copy and the art to us. They didn't want our expert advice, and you know, we have those people. So we'll print it for them, but I don't know, and we Googled all these features. We couldn't find any of them, so we don't even know what this is. We don't even know what it does. However, what you want to show on a card are benefits. And believe me, we're showing you 3. This person had like 9 things listed, bullet pointed, that all kind of read like this. So the benefit would be get a thicker, fuller lawn without bald spots, strengthen roots for increased weather resistance, maximize your soil for a thriving lawn and garden. And these are the benefits that we've kind of made up that are the benefits of these particular features. Because we Googled them and we couldn't find it. Now, sometimes a feature and a benefit are one and the same, or a feature actually communicates the benefit to you. Family owned and operated is a great feature that communicates a benefit, because we all feel very comfortable. If a family can work well together and they're still in business, I trust them, you know. And serving the local area since anything over, you know, 10 years also gives credibility to the business, that it's a brick and mortar business, that they've been around, that they are good enough at what they do, that they can stay in business, because we all know how hard that is. So that's where a benefit and a feature are one and the same. Now, if you can think with this, if you look over here, leave the lawn care to us, that would be a subhead that leads into text, and that is what should have been showing on that slide. I apologize. But on this slide, I'm showing you the benefits. So here are all the benefits on this card. Leave the lawn care to us, and you know, nowadays you don't even need necessarily a paragraph. You can just go right into bullet points and other aspects of the design, which we'll get to. The offer. I love this offer. It's a great offer because, and this is a very successful card, which is why I'm showing it to you, because you give up some time to give them a free mowing, or they can choose a $25 dinner gift card, and that way they'll call you up because they want to retrieve that offer. Today, offers are very, very, very important. We're all used to getting so many things for free that we take for granted. We get free Wi-Fi when we go to Starbucks. We get free Facebook, and all we do is complain about it. Google is free. We can search for, learn about anything, and there's no charge to us as the consumer. So nowadays, a free consultation, I'm sorry, just means nothing to me anymore. I expect that, but I want an offer that's too good to pass up. So it's important that you put some time and thought into what you're going to offer on your postcard, so that people have to call you up to retrieve that offer, an offer that's too good to be true. And another thing to think about in terms of the offer is, what is the lifetime value of a client for you? I know for myself, I have been using the same lawn care company. I mean, I'm trying to think of how many years as I'm on the webinar right now. I would say probably for 15 years. Now, I own a pretty big house, and I think I spend about $400 a month. So if you take that $4,800 a year times the 15 years, this lawn care company has made $72,000 on me. I'm one customer for him. So what would he be willing to get another customer like me? What would he be willing to give away? Maybe a month of free service to the right demographic to show how they do such a great job, because it is difficult to find a lawn care company or a landscaping company that meets the standards that you want sometimes. And we went through a few before we stuck with Mr. Ozell George. That's who we use. Make sure your company logo is a name or on the card. If you don't have a logo, that's totally fine. And I'm glad that the card I'm showing you does not have a logo, because we are not Nike, us small businesses. We are not Coca-Cola. We're not going to plaster our logo all over billboards, TV commercials. We only have a certain amount of marketing dollars to spend, and a logo is not going to really make or break our results at this point in the game. So make sure you have your company name there. And I put that there only because we've had people submit art to us with no company name, and that's kind of silly. Call to action, or in the industry we say CTA, call to action. Interestingly enough, if you tell the person what to do, they will do it faster than if you just leave a phone number there and not tell them what to do. So the call to action here is call today for a free estimate, which is fine, but probably to improve this, I would probably say call today to retrieve your free mowing, because that's the offer. Contact information. I want to use the word duh here. I know that it seems silly that I have to say make sure that there's contact information on your postcard, but again, in the 15, 16 years that we've been doing this, we have received art from many companies where there is no way to contact them. And it has caused my company to implement a checklist that we actually give to all our clients so they can double check everything they have before approving their design to go to print, because we have definitely had people send out postcards with no contact information. And a return address. A return address is important because if you're sending out to specific addresses, you want to make sure that the post office has a place to return the bad addresses to, so you can update your mailing list. Even though the mailing lists are as up-to-date as possible, meaning they're run through special software to remove any bad addresses and just have it the most updated possible, you can't update to the minute. You can't update to the day it's happening where people are going to move out or put in that change of address card. So we want to make sure there's an address. Plus that address, a real address, is better than a P.O. box. I'm showing you a P.O. box here, but a real return address is better. The reason why, it's a little nuance in postcard design, in any design, that shows the person that you're a brick and mortar company. It just makes them feel like it's going, you know, that you're not somebody just working out of your truck, that you have a real business. So even if you go to a, you know, a UPS store, normally you can just put their address, suite, whatever your box number is, and it just looks better than a P.O. box. It's just what happens in the mind of the recipient. It's not that huge of a deal. So these are the 10 points that we went over. And I want to also let you know that if you want a copy of this PowerPoint, I would be very, very happy to give that to you. I think there's a way to contact me at the end of this webinar so that you can have this and look at it and refresh. If not, I'll give you my email address at that time.